So the big question is this: how do most agents who don't have access to the secrets that the top agents in our industry hoard to themselves grow and prosper in today's real estate environment? That's the question. And this video podcast is the answer. I'm Pat Hyben, and welcome to Real Estate Rockstars. Rockstar Nation, thanks so much for listening. Don't forget to stay to the end, where our guests will be offering a free gift. As you know, all of our guests offer a free gift, and all of these gifts can be found on the Agent Success Toolbox. You could find that by going to hybendigital.com/toolbox, or simply texting the word toolbox to 444-999. That's toolbox to 444-999. I am going to put today's free gift in today's show notes, but if you want all of them, including gifts from most of our guests that have come on the show, just go to the Agent Success Toolbox. All right, Rockstar Nation, I got a great guest for you. Real estate, mortgage, all things future, all things what is happening today and what you need to know today to make more money. Mr. Scott Groves is on the line. Scott, welcome to Real Estate Rockstars.
Hey, Pat, really appreciate it, man. I've been listening to the show for a long time and actually just picked up your book that I sent out to my 17-year-old on the East Coast, told him that he owes me a book report by Christmas. So thanks for that.
That's a great, cool thing to do, man. I've been doing that with the Tribe of Millionaires book, and having kids or teenagers in my life, record videos about like who your favorite character is and what you learned. So,
yeah, just learning about the pillars, and my son's always hitting me up for money. He's in his senior year, so a few bucks here, a few bucks there. And I'll tell him, man, when I give him a book like yours or The Compound Effect or my book, and I'm like, hey, read this, give me a book report, and I'll send you $100 or $200 if it's a longer book. I feel like that's much better than just shoveling out cash. I'd rather them learn for their money.
Yeah, well, good stuff. Well, hey, Scott, tell everybody a little bit about yourself so we can get to know you better.
Yeah, sure. Origin story is like many people in the mortgage business. Started not knowing what I was going to do, got into mortgages in 2000, 2001, rode that wave up, lost everything, just like everybody in 2008, 2009, kind of relearned the business, went from working at a bank and being a refinance junkie to actually adding value to clients' lives and realtors' lives and doing purchase business. And then, thankfully, through hard work and a little bit of luck, every year from about 2010 to 2015, doubled production, doubled income, doubled volume, and ended up coming up with some ideas that resonated with a lot of people. So that turned into a coaching business, that turned into a partnership. And as of the time that we're recording this, which is November of 2019, our team is on track, my business partner and I, to fund about $130 million in loans this year. Definitely the loan sizes here in California help. So that's about $130 million on about 200 units. And then have a coaching business with a couple hundred loan officers and realtors who we coach. And most recently wrote a book, which is the reason we're talking. Shameless plug for Lead Generate, 61 Days to Double Your Pay by yours truly. And that's what I do. Most importantly, I still try to carve out time to be a good dad and a good husband. But, you know how that goes, balancing the work and the business and everything else. Yeah, you got to do it, though. But what part of California are you in? I'm right by the Rose Bowl in Pasadena.
Pasadena, California. Okay, cool. So let's chat about, first of all, we want to focus on how you can help real estate agents. And then afterwards, I'm going to ask you a little bit about, mortgage industry, what's coming down the pike as far as regulation, what loan products are out there that real estate agents might not know about, what they should be doing, what they should be thinking, and then maybe some of your beliefs about the future of the markets, both in California and North America. But first, let's talk about lead generating. Your book has struck a chord both in mortgage officers, but also in salespeople, entrepreneurs, and real estate agents. So I want to focus on the real estate agent. What can you tell me about the 61 days that an agent listening in Tupelo, Mississippi could actually pick up from this show and put into play and sell more houses?
Yeah, the biggest reason I wrote the book, and there's that 61-day habit building technique, is that it's just a habit, right? Everybody knows you don't go to the gym once and do a few sit-ups and you end up with a six-pack, which, by the way, I've never had because I can't find consistency.
You never do sit-ups.
Exactly. It's the same exact thing with lead generation, right? Lead generation isn't a $99 program you buy online or a $2,000 marketing funnel you come up with on Facebook. Lead generation is a daily habitual activity. I frequently start out a keynote speech asking realtors when I speak at realtor events, stand up if you're married, have a boyfriend, girlfriend. Everybody more or less stands up. And then I say, hey, sit down if your wife or husband's, roommate, coworker, cousin has recently bought a house and you didn't get an at-bat at that transaction.
Damn.
And most of the audience sits down.
What?
And I tell them,
most of them sit down.
Most of them sit down. Yeah, the cousin, the brother, the coworker of their wife or their husband, they're literally not even getting leads from the person that they're sleeping with. And they're out trying to get leads on Facebook and buy funnels and buy Zillow leads. And I'm like, look, you're not even famous enough with your spouse to get all the leads in their world. Let's take 61 days and focus in on that sphere of influence, those people that are closest to you, those people you've already done deals with. Let's get the low-lying fruit before you go out and try to reinvent the wheel with Facebook ads.
Wow. Yeah, no. Okay. So that's a given, right? But yeah, unfortunately, most agents don't do that. What do you recommend specifically that agents do for 61 days? And let's just say, let's just take 2020, right? Let's say someone wants to, start the year with a bang and do it right, right? Tell me what to do the first 61 days of 2020 or whatever, or when they start this for 61 days.
Well, here's the first thing that I recommend to people who want to make that first $200,000 to $250,000 in sustainable and repeatable income. Mm-hmm. You've got to be famous with 50 people. And
wait a minute, let me slow you down, Scott.
Sure.
You've got to be famous
with 50 people.
With 50 people, that's it. You've got to be famous with 50 people. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not very shy about income. There's years where I made $10,000. There's years where I made $700,000. And the difference between those years in the mortgage business is the difference between I only had 2 or 3 people I was famous with who was referring me deals, but now being famous with 50 people. And what I mean being famous with is these are people like my dental hygienist who talks to a couple hundred people a month, who they know if that person says something about buying, selling, or refinancing a house, she says, oh, you know what? I clean the teeth of this great guy named Scott Groves. Why don't you give him a call for a mortgage? So you have to be famous with 50 unique.
All right, how do I do that? How do I become famous with my, hygienist? Because I'm visualizing this in my mind, and I know my hygienist. I always get her, the same one. I'm certainly, sounds like it from what you're saying, nowhere near as aggressive as I should be about being famous. So tell me about this.
Well, the first question is, does your hygienist even know what you do?
Yes. Well, okay. Let me. I want the audience to answer that, but yeah, go ahead. What's the next question they should be?
So that's the question.
Do they know what you do? Let's say the answer is no.
The answer is no. You got to tell them, right? Like, I'm not saying that every relationship we're in needs to be a usury relationship. Let's not go too far down that path.
Okay.
But if you're giving money to people, your dentist, your insurance agent, your financial planner, your accountant, your bookkeeper, your pool cleaner, these people need to know what you do for a living, and they need to know what to listen for so that when that conversation comes up, they can refer you.
So how do you do it? How's Scott do it? You're laying in a dentist chair, right? You got a flashlight in your mouth. What do you do?
Yeah. Well, okay, maybe that one's a little bit of a tougher example.
Or a flashlight over top of your face, whatever.
Exactly.
How do you, just tell me how to do it.
So let's go to my insurance agent, because I had to have this conversation with him recently. I'm here in Southern California. I got a couple cars. I got a house. I got life insurance. I got gap insurance. I got an umbrella policy. I probably spend, call it $10,000 a year in insurance with my broker. He's probably on somewhere a 20, 30% split. He makes a couple $1,000s a year off of me. I refer them a lot of clients who buy their homeowners insurance for them. It's my job to sit down with them and say, hey, Eric, love you to death. I think you do a great job, but we're in a business where I count on referrals to continue to pay my bills. You are part of paying my bills. I need you to help me pay my bills. So, how could we work together? How could I add some value to your book of business or your clients so that when the conversation of buying a home or, the home loan starts falling through when they need insurance bound and coverage bound in a new house, how can we get to a spot where you're comfortable saying, hey, Scott's your guy? And just ask them that question. How can we get to a point where we're comfortable, where I'm your guy? And if they say, hey, I'm never going to be your guy, then I got to make the business decision. Do I still want them to be my guy? And it's just that simple. I have a very detailed list of 50 people I need to be famous with. Some of them are service providers. A dozen of them are realtors. A dozen of them are my most well-connected, gossipy clients. 10 of them are people that have never sent me a loan, but they know everybody in the world, and I want those refinance referrals. So just getting famous with 50 people strategically, either befriending them or having a strategic business relationship with them, you just have to do it to know where your bread is coming from.
TribeOfMillionaires.com. Guys, write that down. Rockstar Nation got a free special offer for you. Now, I've just written a book, and it's just been published. Co-authored it with David Osborne, who's been on this show multiple times. If you don't know David, he is one of the top execs at Keller Williams Real Estate, was personally mentored for the last 2 decades by Gary Keller himself, and he's in all kinds of businesses. His bio and explanation and everything is in this book. But anyways, David and I got together. We decided to write a book. We called it Tribe of Millionaires. And I guarantee you it's going to change your life. To find out more, just go to tribeofmillionaires.com. We're going to give it to you absolutely free. Only thing we ask in return is, of course, number one, you pay the shipping. Not a big deal. But number two, that you go on Amazon and write us a review. We're really looking to get an incredible amount of reviews. And because of that, we're giving this book away for free. Go to tribeofmillionaires.com today. Okay, so this may sound like a rhetorical question, but I want you to talk about it. How do I know if I have a quote-unquote gossipy client? How do I know to write that person down on my list?
Yeah. So for example, we get very intimately involved with clients when we're selling them real estate or doing their home loans. If you're selling somebody real estate, you know what their family dynamic looks like. You know what their housing needs look like. You know what their wants and needs are. I see their credit report and their finances. So for example, one of my recent clients is in the HR relocation department at Netflix. Netflix just opened a big office over in Silicon Beach. This lady I know is talking to every single person that is relocating to Southern California to work for Netflix. Those people are probably going to buy a house. So I want to be famous with her. I want to stay on her radar.
What do I do? What do you do? What? Tell me what to do.
So I find excuses to call them. After they close the house, hey, call them when you think the supplemental tax is going to be due. Every April and November, call them. Make sure that their impound account on their mortgage is paying their taxes. Have their birthday on a calendar reminder. Have the anniversary of when they bought their house on a calendar reminder. Call them up just to say hi. I saw you on Facebook and your kids are so cute. My kids are cute too. Ha, 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 ha. Just find an excuse. I have this checklist here where I have to call 10 people a day. There's 3 buyers or past buyers, 3 new realtor relationships, 3 existing realtor relationships, and 1 listing agent. I've got one for realtors. Call 3 people you met in an open house this weekend. Call 3 past clients. Call 3 clients that are out shopping. Call 1 person that's in your sphere of influence that likes to gossip a lot. And you just find an excuse to keep in touch at that human level.
Worst case scenario, you're like, I'm driving through the neighborhood, and you could just lie. Or I drove through your neighborhood, and I drove past your house just thinking about you, or whatever.
Yeah. I've got clients right now, Pat, that spend hours a day. I know they do. They spend hours a day on social media, and then they're like, well, I don't know what to talk about. I'm like, you know what the dude had for lunch? Like, you can't find something.
They don't want to be creepy. Like, how do you be? What do you have to say to an agent that would tell you that would say, hey, Scott, I don't want to be creepy?
Yeah, well, I don't want to be creepy either, right? Like, I work with a lot of female agents. I don't want to come across creepy. I'm happily married. But for example, Pat, before we started on this podcast, we were talking about a business transaction that you have coming to fruition next week, right? So what did I do? I set a calendar reminder for myself to say, hey, follow up with Pat and see how that business transaction went. You know, show a genuine interest in one of Pat's wins. And if now I've given you the secret sauce, so it's not going to be as impactful, but when I reach out to you next Tuesday to say, hey, Pat, how did it go? Did that win end up working out? You're now going to associate me with that win in your life. And that was just an excuse to reach out. And then I'll probably reach out in 3 more months and check in on something else. Or, you know, the next time you publish a book, I'll reach out and say, congratulations. It's just between social media and what we know is already happening in the life of a consumer. There's so many reasons to reach out for the win. You know, I've got a lot of professionals, as I'm sure you know, they like to just only reach out when they want to commiserate and like to bitch about the market or something that's happening on a difficult transaction. And then what ends up happening is you build this little tribe of bitchy people that only get together to complain. I want to reach out to people when they're winning or when there's something interesting going on in the market or there's something positive or rates are down or property values are up. And that's how we get famous with those 50 people, is celebrate the wins alongside them.
Yeah, that's awesome. Celebrate the wins alongside them. And it's 61 days. And then what happens at 61 days? Is it osmosis? Does it just happen? You're like hooked?
It should be. Yeah, it's like it's a habit, right? Depending on what scientific study you read, it takes somewhere between 7 days and 50 days to develop a habit. So I went a few days extra because us loan officers are a little dense sometimes. But after 61 business days, which ends up being about 3 months, you should be in this habit of like, all right, cool. I've got my half hour to hour a day of lead generation. You know, I make a call, I leave a voice message, I follow up by text, I check in with Facebook Messenger, you know, the personal touches every day, half an hour to an hour a day. If you're not doing at least that, you should not call yourself a loan officer or realtor, and you should go.
What time do you do it?
I do it from 9:30 to 10:30 every day because I find that's the time that realtors are most likely to pick up their phone.
And what tips do you have for people that want to do this? Give me 2 or 3 tips of, like, I notice right now, like, you're standing, I'm standing, right? Is that one of your tips? Give me some tips like that.
Always standing and smiling, because that comes through over the phone. And God forbid you make your prospecting calls when you're trying to do something else or you're trying to type an email. People, they feel that through the phone.
Yeah, shut your computer down.
Shut your computer down. They know you're not engaged. That's number one. Number two, and this is the most simplistic one that nobody will do, and this comes directly from Chris Voss's book, Never Split the Difference.
Yeah, just had the dude on. Yeah, just released his episode.
Absolute must read. You know, he says something very simple. People are so used to having to get BS yeses and complimentary yeses. Craft questions that come with a no answer. And here's a simple example. I cold call somebody and I say, hey, Pat, did I catch you at a good time? No, you didn't catch me at a good time. I don't want to talk to you. I'm not saying yes. I'm not getting sucked into this telemarketing thing. So I would call Pat and say, hey, Pat, did I catch you at a bad time? Whether you think so or not, Pat, your inclination is going to want to say no, because you want to take charge of that conversation. And this is one of the things that Chris Voss teaches in his program, is that you want to craft questions that have a no answer, but the no answer is in your court, that it's the outcome that you want. So I will call people. I've never asked anybody since I took Chris's class, hey, did I catch you at a good time? Because everybody knows that's just question one for some BS telemarketing.
Yeah, right. For me to keep you on the phone for 5 minutes.
Exactly. Hey, Pat, did I catch you at a bad time? No, Scott, it's actually a pretty good time. I have a few minutes for you. What's going on? And then I go into my spiel.
Yeah, if it was a bad time, I wouldn't have answered the phone, you know?
Exactly. So that's an easy no question that you can craft to get the conversation started. And subconsciously, I've handed the power over to you because I said, hey, is this a bad time? And you got to say, no, this isn't a bad time. I have decided for myself that this is a moment in time I want to talk to Scott Groves. So now just subconsciously, the conversation is off.
On what do you say next? Let's say they say no.
Just right? If they say no, I say, great. You know, Scott Groves just wanted to check in. If it's a past client, they'll probably know who I am because I've talked to them so frequently. If they're a cold call, just say, hey, Scott Groves, you know, find an excuse to talk. Let's get together for coffee. But if it's a past client, I'll just say, or a past realtor, I'll just say, hey, you know, just wanted to check in. And then you go into the celebration of the win. You know, saw on social media you started a new job. Saw on social media you're relocating. You know, By the way, not sure if you've heard, but the rates have been down. Have you had anybody look at your mortgage statement? Hey, I saw you had a kid. I know that's usually a catalyst for, running out of space. Have you?
Tell me what to say if I want to get real estate leads, or I want you to be, one of my 50 raving fans.
Yeah, I would say two different answers. If you want to get real estate leads and it's somebody who's in your sphere, again, asking them what's going well, right? Crafting those questions that make them feel good about themselves. Hey, it's Scott. Did I catch you at a bad time? No, Scott, what's going on? Hey, to tell you the truth, I just wanted to check in. We did that deal together, or you helped me with that lead, or you bought a house. Just wanted to see how it's going. What's going well? What are you excited about this year? What are you looking forward to in 2020? When I coach realtors and they say, oh, I get together with the clients and they're fearful about buying and they're worried about this and they're scared about this. It's like, well, they're that way because you're setting the table that way. If you ask questions like, hey, what are you most looking forward to going into 2020? What's going well with the house that we bought a couple of years ago? Just wanted to check in. You can call a client and say, how's the house going? And then they'll tell you about the leaky roof and the thing that went wrong,
right,
and the neighbors that's pissing them off. But if you call a past client and say, hey, what's going well with the house that we closed on a couple of years ago? Oh, well, we love this. And Jimmy's school is 3 blocks away. I love that I can walk to school before school. But, we just had Sarah and we're kind of running out of space. Now you've started a conversation where you can talk about real estate. And then, even if it's just a simple, just checking in, cool, everything's good. As you're getting off the phone, and trust me, Pat, I know how hard this is, but they've already given you permission to talk to them. You've already celebrated the wins. You've talked about something positive. They're in a positive mind frame. And this is where realtors and lenders shut down and don't ask the question, but you've got to ask the question. Hey, is there any reason why you wouldn't refer a friend or family member over? Is there any reason you wouldn't refer a friend or family member over if they
So here you go. Then another no question. So let's write this down, right? Is there any because it's awkward as hell, right? It's like, is there any reason you wouldn't refer a friend or family member who needs to buy a house over to me?
Yeah. And then you're going to get one of two answers. You're going to get an authentic no, where they say, no, you did a great job for us. Anybody we know that's looking to buy, we'll send them over to you. You'll get an authentic no. Or, Pat, what is great about this question and crafting it this way is if you get an authentic yes, if they say, yeah, I'm actually not going to refer you anybody, they will immediately defend it with why. Scott, yeah, I'm not going to really refer it over to you because at the end of the day, I've got this lender I've been working with for 10 years. He's my golfing buddy. I think the world of you, but I just can't refer anybody over to you. All right, cool. At least I know. And then I can put the Pat Haven, prospecting call on the back burner because he's got a guy.
Take him off the list.
Take him off the list. Move on. So I'm always looking to get the authentic no or the authentic yes. What an explanation. What I can't stand is when I hear somebody say, "Oh, so you're going to send me a lead?" "Oh, yeah, Scott. I'll send you a lead." That's the blow off answer. That's not the real answer.
Totally.
So craft your questions where you get an authentic no.
Do the math. It's worth every single dollar. That's a title of a comment that I got on my certified listing agent course from Rebus University. It's from Bill Reeg. This is what Bill says. Bill says, looking to take your listing presentation to the next level? I've closed 100 appointments since I took Pat's certified listing agent course. 5 appointments, 5 new clients, 60 days. Boom, do the math. It's worth every single dollar. Thanks, Bill. But listen, guys, I am offering this to you if you haven't already taken it, because so many brokers and teams make their agents take it before they do a single listing appointment. But if you haven't taken it, you can go to rebusuniversity.com and get it now. Now, here's the thing. For 30 days, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you that course. I'm going to give you the buyer agent course, which teaches you how to close every single serious buyer that calls on the phone or emails. The certified team agent course is taught by Jeff Cohn, one of America's top agents, on how to build a team from zero to hero to hundreds and hundreds of units every year, step by step. It's like a 12-hour course, plus 7 other courses. Yes, you heard that right. all for a measly $127 a month. If you were to go to Rebus University and buy these courses individually, it costs you over $10,000. But today, if you go to futureofrealestatetraining.com, that's futureofrealestatetraining.com, you'll learn what Bill Reek did, which is how to close 100% of the listing appointments you go on. Quite impressive. And you'll learn all the other incredible details provided in the 11 5-star courses that are offered. Yeah, it's like all you can eat bazaar. You go in now and you pay $127 a month. If you can eat all 11 courses in 1 month, that's all you pay is $197. This is a bargain, guys. Get it now. Futureofrealestatetraining.com. Hey, Real Estate Rockstars, this is Pat Hyben, and before we jump back into today's content, I want to tell you about an extraordinary offer from an extraordinary company. I'm talking about My Outdesk. If you haven't heard of My Outdesk, basically they're a virtual assistant company, a VA company that specializes in virtual assistants for real estate agents. Yeah, I'm talking about transaction coordinators, marketing assistants. I'm talking about ISAs, inside sales agents that prospect thousands and thousands of seller leads and buyer lead follow-ups. I mean, these guys are trained in this stuff specifically. You're not using a company that doesn't know or understand real estate sales. 4 out of 5 of the top teams in the US use My Outdesk for their virtual assistants. And because I know the owner, Daniel Ramsey, I've known him for over a decade, and I know how awesome and incredible this company is and how it saves agents thousands and thousands of dollars every single week and makes them thousands and thousands of more every single week, we are going to give you a $400 coupon off of your first month of a virtual assistant and give you a free book entitled Scaling Your Business with Virtual Professionals. So you can read it and look into it before you decide anything. It's called Scaling Your Business with Virtual Professionals. And you can get it real easy. All you got to do is text the word Hyben, H-I-B-A-N, to 31996. That's H-I-B-A-N to 31996. And download your free book, Scaling Your Business with Virtual Professionals. And don't forget to mention also that you get a $400 discount, which will give you a coupon for that when you download the book. Thank you, guys, and I hope you enjoy and make a ton of money using My Outdesk. Indeed. I love it. Okay, so let's shift gears here. And by the way, guys, I'm going to take this Scott's book, and I'm going to put it in his. I'm going to put a link to it in the show notes and all of his information, like I do with every guest. But let's move on to the mortgages, and from a real estate agent's perspective, a lot of agents are wondering, what's changing, what's going on, what are rates going to do? What mortgage programs are out there now that I don't know about that I should know about? So fill me in on what's happening.
Got it. So a couple things, and I'll read the crystal ball and the tea leaves for 2020. We're recording this end of 2019. It'll probably come out early 2020. We think in our office here that between the political turmoil that will come from the election, some ongoing developments with China, just some geopolitical stuff, we think there's going to be some downward pressure on the stock market in 2020, or maybe even a recession, which generally will lead to lower interest rates. So if you take out the calamity of 2000,
but can they go lower?
Oh yeah. The 10-year Treasury as of today is sitting at about 1.89. That's what most closely correlates to mortgage rates. We think the 10-year Treasury might be into hitting 1% at some point in 2020. So we think there's going to be a big opportunity for people to refinance in 2020 if they have kind of a conventional traditional.
You think there's going to be another refi boom?
Yep. 2020. We believe it.
Interesting. Okay. Keep going.
So we think that's going to happen. And again, could be wrong. We could always bet 50-50 on this stuff. But yeah, we think rates are going to trend lower in 2020. They hit kind of a trough here in October of 2019. They've ticked back up over the last 30 days. And I think we're going to be lower in 2020. So that's one thing that I'm looking for. And then the other thing that realtors need to really understand is that, the non-QM mortgage space has come back in a big way. And let's
wait a minute, slow down. The non-QM mortgage. What the hell are you talking about?
All right. So coming out of 2009, the Dodd-Frank large legislation that created the Consumer Financial Protection Board and all that stuff, they decided that qualified mortgages are your cookie cutter Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, VA loans, FHA loans. So non-qualified mortgages.
Non-qualified, right? Which is what, like under what, 5? What like fit it in? Tell me the parameters real quick.
Yeah, so basically it means it's not a conventional loan. That's basically what it means. So these are your things like your bank statement loans for entrepreneurs. These are your things like your debt service coverage loans for investors that can't quite prove all of their income. Now, look, this is not the subprime 0% down option arm. This is not the stuff that crashed the economy in 2009. This is investors that have very complicated tax returns, self-employed borrowers who write everything off. When they're putting down 20, 25, 30% and they've got skin in the game, and they can show 12 months of bank statements for, their business cash flow, we're doing a lot of loans in that non-qualified space. So, what I would say for your realtors, what they need to know is it needs to be you backing up your lender and having that conversation with the client, because it's just a math problem.
Wait a minute. Are you saying these non-qualified mortgages are going to be easier to get or harder to get?
For your self-employed borrower, they're going to be easier to get. For your big-time property investor, probably easier to get. Anybody who writes off everything under the sun on their
things are going to be easier. Things are going to be more fluid.
Yeah, more options. I would
Guidelines, regulations, all that. More liberal.
Yeah, much more liberal. The underwriting guidelines are getting, exponentially just a little bit easier, and more programs returning. Now, the conversation, of course, Pat, is explaining to the clients that 3.5% rate that you see advertised at Jumbo Bank ABC is not the same as the 5% loan you can get on your bank statements, but it's just a math equation. You want to go pay $200,000 more in federal taxes to qualify for the loan with Big Bank ABC? Go for it. Pay the $200,000 in taxes. You want to qualify off your bank statements and your assets because you write off too much stuff, or you're self-employed or you're a property investor? All right, well, then you get the 5% rate instead of the 3.5% rate. Just a math problem. Because who wants to pay an extra $200,000 to the IRS if you don't have to? So we're seeing a lot more borrowers take advantage of these loans in the non-qualified mortgage space.
And that's just going to blow up. And anyways, it is what it is. So okay, so what else? Any cool products out there today that didn't exist a year ago?
I would say the expansion of that non-qualified mortgage. So the expansion of the bank statement loans, the self-employed loans, the investor loans. Again, this is people that have skin in the game, 20, 30%.
Yeah, sure, right.
So, we're not worried about defaults there. But yeah, I think a lot of those are coming back to the market in a big way. And yeah, I'd say those are the big pluses. It's the big stuff we're seeing.
Well, I mean, those are good predictions, right? Predicting the rates are going to go down, and predicting the loans are going to be a hell of a lot easier to get. Yeah. So, fascinating. Okay. So, 2020, right? Besides prospecting like a fiend for 61 days or every day in 2020, what do agents need to be doing differently that they're not currently doing, or that they weren't currently doing a year ago, do you think?
Well, one of my all-time favorite quotes is, every business problem is just a personal problem in disguise.
Every business problem is a personal problem in disguise. Do tell.
Right. So if you have a problem waking up, if you're the person that doesn't wake up till 7:30, 8 o'clock, you hit the snooze button 9 times, and then you're trying to figure out why your day is hectic and you're running late to appointments and you can never seem to get on track with a calendar. You don't have a business problem. You have a personal problem. You are not the type of person that can wake up early and have discipline and start with something like our friend Hal Elrod's Miracle Morning. So if you're running around crazy saying, man, every day I'm late to appointments and I can't seem to make time for my prospecting and my calendar's already out of whack, you probably don't have a business problem. you probably have a personal problem of having that self-discipline to get up.
So is what you're saying, Scott, that like if you're not doing the amount of units that you set a goal to do, you have a personal problem.
Yeah. Look into your personal life. Like, are your relationships in turmoil? Are you the person that's been saying you're going to go to the gym for 2 years and you never go to the gym? Are you the person that says you're going to you're going to get up early and journal and put your calendar together for the day, and then you hit the snooze button 9 times? So, when I coach clients on a webinar scale, we talk about business problems. When I coach clients one-on-one in the mortgage or real estate industry, I coach to personal problems, because usually when you get to the root of what's really going wrong, it's like, well, yeah, I haven't been able to do my prospecting, but it's because I spent all my time trying to settle my divorce. And I'm like, well, okay, that's a personal problem.
Yeah, that's a personal problem. It's like James Allen and As a Man Thinketh, right? It's impossible to change your circumstance unless you first change yourself.
Exactly. So that's what I would say. Do your lead generation. And if you're not finding time to do the things in your business that you want to do, really take a look at what's going on in your personal life and where you need to make some improvements there, and then get some help. Read a book, watch a YouTube video, listen to a podcast, get a coach. If your fitness is really dragging back your energy level and you can't make it through a day motivated, get a personal trainer. It's just, there's so much that we can improve upon in our personal life, which then has a direct correlation on how we run our business.
Yeah, man, love it. Good stuff. All right, Scott, so let's move on to your free gift. As you know, everybody that comes on the show brings a free gift, something of value that our listeners at the Rockstar Nation could download. I'm going to put your free gift in your show notes, which is going to be, since this is your first time on the show, I'm going to put it in hybendigital.com/Scott Groves. It's Groves. So what are you going to bring today, Scott?
Well, I think the easiest way to get in touch with me and also to kind of kickstart things is just this simple weekly call tracker. Whether you're a loan officer that found this, or if you're a realtor, I got one for realtors too. Just go and we'll have the download option of the call tracker there.
That's awesome. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'll take both of them if you don't mind, Scott. I have one for loan officers, one for real estate agents. It's basically his daily call tracker, what Scott uses to prospect like a madman, but only for an hour a day. It's enabled him to do $130 million worth of loans, which, put that as to $130 million worth of house sales. That's a hell of a lot. So I'm going to put that in hybendigital.com/Scott Groves. I'm also going to put it in the Agent Success Toolbox, which can be found on hybendigital.com/toolbox, or texting the word toolbox to 444-999. That's toolbox to 444-999. Scott, this has been a blast, brother. If I'm ever in Pasadena, California, I'll definitely look you up. We'll get together and break some bread.
Thanks, man. Hope you make it out here to California to visit.
I want you to think about the word toolbox. What is a toolbox? A toolbox is a box full of tools that you use to build something great. At Real Estate Rockstars, we've created our own free toolbox. So everybody that comes on the show as a guest brings a tool with them, and we plow them all into this toolbox, and we give it away for our viewing audience to basically use as they wish. Everything we put in there is an actionable item that can be downloaded, can be printed, can be used immediately. And we got things like scripts and dialogues, checklists for teams, checklists to keep agents accountable, referral forms that are filled out at settlement to get referrals by your buyers and sellers. Everything you could think of that you could use on a regular basis about real estate is included in this toolbox. And it's helping agents worldwide sell more houses and make their jobs a lot easier and processes much more efficient. And the thing is, it's absolutely free. All you got to do is go to hybendigital.com/toolbox or text the word toolbox to 444-999. That's toolbox 444-999. Do it now.
Rockstar Nation, thank you for listening to Real Estate Rockstars. Listen, I need a favor. If you find this free content helpful, if you find our downloadable items from each guest helpful, please, I need you to pull out your pointing finger. Yes, the one finger that points at people, and hit subscribe. Yes, subscribe. The more subscribers we get, the better we look in the ratings, and the easier it is to get guests like Robert Kiyosaki, Barbara Corcoran, all the players that are on $1 million listing in the different cities. All that stuff makes it easier the more subscribers we get. So please subscribe. And listen, there's a lot of places you can leave comments. There's a lot of places you can like. We're on Facebook. We have an Instagram page. Instagram page is I am Pat Hyben. The Facebook is Real Estate Rockstars Radio. Feel free to leave us comments there. The most popular form of commenting seems to happen on YouTube. Yes, for whatever reason, it's a very open environment. So just go to YouTube and go to Real Estate Rockstars Radio. Leave us comments there. Some of them we will read on the show. We love your feedback. So thanks, guys, and I hope you are having a great day. Oh, and also, listen, if you're going to subscribe and you haven't already left a review on iTunes, please do that too. Have a great day, and thanks so much, Rockstar Nation. I really appreciate you.